Type a question into most search bars and they do something surprisingly dumb. They match letters. Ask for a laptop that is light, and you will miss every result that says thin or portable or 2 pounds. Same meaning, different words, 0 matches. Embeddings fix exactly that. An embedding lets a machine search by meaning instead of spelling. It is the quiet engine behind semantic search, behind recommendations, and behind almost every serious RAG system shipping in 2026. Here is the entire idea in one move. You send a piece of text to a model, and it hands you back a list of numbers. That list is the text's coordinate in a giant space of meaning. So the word king and the word monarch, which share not a single letter, land right next to each other. Keyword search treats them as total strangers. An embedding model knows they are the same idea wearing different spelling. How many numbers are we talking about? For OpenAI's small model, 1,536 of them. Every embedding is a single point sitting in that many dimensions at once. From there, search is just geometry. Embed the query, embed every document, and rank by which vectors sit nearest to it. That nearness is almost always measured with cosine similarity. This is where nearly everyone begins. OpenAI's embeddings endpoint, one API call in, one vector back out. It is the default that made semantic search almost boring to set up, and it is still a perfectly good starting point. Which brings us to the real question. With dozens of embedding models to choose from now, which one should you actually pick? That is exactly where most tutorials quietly stop and where the interesting part begins. Step 1 is the leaderboard. MTEB ranks embedding models across dozens of tasks, and it is the first place any sensible person looks. As of 2026, Google's Gemini embedding model sits right near the top. But a high score is a trap waiting for you. A model that wins on MTEB can still lose badly on your specific documents. The benchmark is someone else's data, run against someone else's questions, not yours. Among the paid options, 4 names are worth knowing well. OpenAI, Google Gemini, Cohere, and Voyage. Each one is genuinely strong somewhere, and not a single one of them is the best everywhere. Start with the price floor. OpenAI's small model costs 2 cents per million tokens. For the vast majority of projects, that is cheap, fast, and honestly good enough to ship without a second thought. Need more accuracy than that? Their large model climbs to 3,072 dimensions for roughly 6.5 times the price. Bigger vectors, stronger recall, and a bigger bill every month. Cohere plays a different game entirely. One model that handles more than 100 languages and images in the same vector space, with a very large context window. Multilingual and multimodal, all from a single endpoint. Here is a pattern worth burning into memory. A model tuned specifically for retrieval will usually beat a bigger, smarter generalist at retrieval. Specialists win on their own home turf. Voyage leans all the way into that idea. Their retrieval model, stored as compact integers, cuts your vector database bill by 83% against OpenAI's largest, and it does it at higher quality, not lower. Voyage is tuned hard for one job, retrieval, and it shines especially on code and technical documentation. If your corpus is mostly source code, this is the model to put on your shortlist first. And you may not need a hosted API at all. Open-weight models have quietly caught up, and several of them now top the leaderboard outright. You can download the weights and run them on hardware you already own. Mixed Bread is a friendly on-ramp into that world. Their open model runs entirely on your own box, with no vendor and no per-token bill, and it is built from the ground up for aggressive compression. 3 open names are worth remembering. QN3 for raw quality, Gina 5 for a tiny footprint and a long context, and BGEM3 as the reliable multilingual workhorse. Every one of them is free to run. So how do you actually control the cost of all this? 3 dials. The number of dimensions, how each number is stored, and where the vectors physically live. Turn them in that order. Dial 1 is dimensions. Matryoshka training packs the most important meaning into the very front of the vector. which means you can simply chop the vector shorter with a single parameter, and it still works. How short can you go? OpenAI's large model, trimmed down to 256 dimensions, still beats their old full-size model at 1500. Shorter, cheaper to store, and somehow still more accurate. Dial 2 is quantization. Instead of a full 32-bit number for every dimension, you store a much rougher approximation. Fewer bits per number, and almost none of the meaning lost. The savings here are honestly absurd. A single vector shrinks from 4,096 bytes all the way down to just 128. That is 32 times smaller for the same rows of data. All of this has to live somewhere, and that somewhere is a vector database. Quadrant is one of the popular ones, and it bakes these compression tricks directly into how it stores and searches your vectors. And the compression barely costs you anything real. Binary vectors search up to 40 times faster while holding on to more than 96% of the original quality. That is almost free speed. The trick that keeps it safe is clever. The database keeps the full precision vectors on disk, searches the tiny compressed ones in memory, then rescores just the top hits. Speed from RAM, accuracy recovered from disk. Now for the warning that trips people up. An embedding model, on its own, is not a retrieval system. It is one single stage. The best embeddings in the world still need a real pipeline built around them. And that pipeline really wants two kinds of search working together. Dense vectors catch meaning beautifully. Old-fashioned keyword search catches the exact terms, names, error codes, and part numbers that vectors tend to smear over. You genuinely want both. Combine the two, and you get what is called hybrid search. You run both retrievers, then merge their two ranked lists with a simple rule called reciprocal rank fusion. No score tuning, no fragile math required. Then you add a re-ranker on top, and the numbers really jump. Hybrid search plus re-ranking lifts recall by 39% over dense vectors used alone. It is the single biggest win in the whole pipeline. A re-ranker is a slower, sharper second pass over your results. It reads the query and each candidate document together, then reorders the shortlist so the genuinely best answer floats up to the very top. But it comes with one hard limit you cannot wish away. A re-ranker can only reorder what your retrieval step already found. If the right document never made it into the shortlist, no re-ranker on Earth can save you. So here is the whole shape, start to finish. Query, then hybrid retrieval, then fuse the ranks, then re-rank the shortlist, and finally hand the top few chunks to the language model. 5 stages, always in that order. And above absolutely everything else, you have to measure. Build a small golden set of real queries with known answers, track your recall, and rerun it on every single change. You cannot improve what you refuse to measure. So let us make the choice concrete. Forget the leaderboard for a moment. Choosing an embedding model really comes down to 5 plain, honest questions about your own project and nothing else. What is the actual task? What languages does your content use? What is the budget? How many vectors at full scale? And can you realistically self-host? Answer those 5, and the field narrows very fast. Then match the model to the job in front of you. Code and technical docs, reach for Voyage. Many languages, reach for Cohere or an open multilingual model. A tight budget, OpenAI's small model is your friend. In practice, the whole thing is just 3 moves. Benchmark 2 or 3 models on your own data, trim the dimensions down until quality starts to dip, and then bolt a re-ranker onto the end. That really is the entire recipe. And never, ever forget the one warning underneath all of it. The chart is not your data. A model that proudly tops MTEB can still finish dead last on the exact queries your real users type every day. So if you take just one thing away from all of this, take this. Benchmark on your own data. Every other decision you make is downstream of that one honest, unglamorous test. Embeddings, the models that make them, and the RAG pipeline you wrap around them. Together, that is the full stack of modern semantic search, and you now know how to choose every single piece of it. If this made those choices even a little clearer, go ahead and subscribe. This is Naman AI, where the tools you are just about to need get decoded before you actually need them. I will see you in the next one.